Close your eyes for a second and ask yourself a simple question. Who are you really? Not the version of you that shows up online, not the version everyone sees and expects, but the real you, the one buried under fear, doubt, and all the compromises you've made to feel safe. That version of yourself, the one who knows your potential but hasn't claimed it yet, is waiting for a moment that may never come unless you decide right now that today is the day you stop settling. Today is the day you stop lying to yourself, pretending that tomorrow will be easier, pretending that life will hand you what you deserve if you just wait patiently enough. The truth is, life doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, or your comfort. Life only rewards those who rise, those who fight, and those who refuse to be anything less than relentless. Right now, somewhere deep inside, you feel it, that pull, that tension, that quiet whisper that says, I'm capable of more. I'm made for more. I'm meant to live bigger. But here's the problem. Feeling it is not enough. Desire without action is death. Potential without discipline is waste. Dreams without a plan are illusions. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must do more than hope. You must rebuild, not just patch yourself up, not just tweak a habit or two, but reconstruct your mind, your habits, your focus, and your identity from the ground up. Because the person you are today is not enough to carry the weight of the life you want to live. The question is, do you have the courage to face that truth and act on it? Every day, you make choices that define who you are becoming. Some choices lift you closer to the life you dream of, while others drag you backward, deeper into mediocrity. Most people live unconsciously, allowing their habits, fears, and distractions to run their lives, but not you. Not today. Today, you are being called to awaken. You're being called to step out of the shadows of doubt, fear, and past failure. You're being called to take control, to stop waiting for permission, to stop asking for luck, and to start building a life so powerful, so undeniable, that no one will ever question your strength again. The path won't be easy. It will demand discomfort, sacrifice, and relentless discipline. You will face moments when quitting feels like the only option, when fear whispers louder than your ambition, when every part of your old self screams to stay small. But here's the secret the world doesn't tell you. Growth lives on the other side of pain. Transformation is born in struggle. Rebuilding yourself is forged in the fire of adversity. And the only way through is to move forward, to take action, and to commit to being unstoppable every single day. If you stay here, if you truly listen, if you open yourself to what comes next, this is the moment that can change everything. The version of yourself you've been waiting for, the strong, relentless, disciplined, and fearless version is ready to be awakened. 2026 is not just another year. It is your year, your chance, your moment to rise, to rebuild, and to claim what has always been yours. The only question left is, are you ready to take it? You want 2026 to be yours? Then everything begins here, right now, with ownership. The moment you stop pointing fingers, stop blaming circumstances, stop letting other people dictate the direction of your life, is the moment you step into true power. Ownership is not just a word. It is a declaration. It is the understanding that no one else is responsible for your results, your happiness, your failure, or your success. You cannot wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, or the perfect person to hand you what you believe you deserve. Ownership says that you are responsible for every single thing that happens in your life. And more importantly, responsible for how you respond to it. Every disappointment, every setback, every obstacle is yours to confront and yours to conquer. Until you fully accept this, 2026 will slip by like every year before it. You will wait and hope and blame and complain and then wonder why the life you dream of keeps eluding you. When you own your life, you stop being a spectator and start being the architect. Ownership demands brutal honesty with yourself. It requires a deep, uncomfortable look at every area where you have allowed yourself to hide behind excuses. Are you late because traffic is bad or because you hit snooze 3 times? Are you broke because the economy is failing or because you spend more than you earn, more than you invest, more than you plan? Are you stagnant in your career because your boss is unfair? Or because you refuse to improve, refuse to learn, refuse to put in the work that others do in silence while you wait for recognition? Ownership is not easy. It is not comfortable, but it is the only path to power. The world does not owe you anything, and no one will hand it to you on a silver platter. Those who rise, those who conquer, those who claim their year in their life, they did it because they refused to play the victim. They understood that the only person who can change their trajectory is themselves. To own your life is to reject excuses. Every excuse you cling to is a weight holding you down. Every time you say, I can't, because you are giving away your power. Ownership requires that you take back what is yours. Your decisions, your effort, your time, your discipline. It is not enough to work hard sometimes or to care when it feels convenient. Ownership means you take control every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It means holding yourself accountable when no one else is watching. It means being willing to stare in the mirror and admit without hesitation that where you are today is the result of your choices yesterday. This is not meant to crush you. It is meant to liberate you. Once you stop blaming, once you stop waiting, once you stop depending on external validation, you can finally harness the power you've had all along. You become unstoppable because nothing outside of you can control your destiny anymore. Ownership also means claiming your mistakes. You will fail. You will fall. You will mess up in ways that shake your confidence. But the true measure of a person who owns their life is not that they fail, but that they refuse to let failure define them. You admit it, learn from it, and then take the necessary steps to correct it. You refuse to let your past, your environment, or other people's opinions dictate your future. Every time you blame someone else for your failure, you give away your opportunity to grow. Every time you own your mistakes, every time you say, this is on me and I will fix it, you step closer to the life you envision for yourself in 2026. Ownership is empowerment. Ownership is freedom. Ownership is the recognition that the only person you need to impress is the person staring back at you in the mirror. There is a mental shift that occurs when you fully embrace ownership. Suddenly, your perspective changes. You no longer see obstacles as reasons to quit. You see them as challenges to overcome. You no longer see limitations as boundaries imposed by the world. You see them as signals of where you must push harder, dig deeper, and rise higher. Ownership transforms fear into fuel. It transforms excuses into energy. It transforms doubt into determination. When you fully accept that you are responsible for everything in your life, you are no longer at the mercy of luck, timing, or circumstance. You are the captain of your ship, the architect of your future, the driver of your success. And when you take that responsibility seriously, everything changes. You stop complaining about what isn't working and start working on what you can control. You stop envying other people's success and start building your own. You stop waiting for 2026 to be amazing and start making it amazing with your own hands. Ownership is not just about taking responsibility for your actions. It's about taking responsibility for your identity. Who are you showing up as in the world? Are you the person who shrinks when challenges appear, or the person who stands tall and attacks every problem with focus and determination? Are you the person who talks about what they will do, or the person who does it relentlessly, consistently, with intensity? Owning your life means that you take charge of the version of yourself that the world sees every single day. It means refusing to let fear, laziness, or negativity dictate how you act. It means being conscious of your energy, your words, and your presence. When you own your identity, you no longer react unconsciously. You act deliberately. You choose your responses, you shape your behaviors, and you design your destiny. Ownership makes you a force because you are fully present in your own life, fully responsible, fully accountable, and fully committed to building the future you want. Finally, ownership is the starting point of every success story. It is the foundation upon which you rebuild yourself in 2026. You cannot rebuild if you refuse to accept your current reality. You cannot grow if you refuse to admit your mistakes. You cannot win if you refuse to put yourself in the driver's seat. But the moment you say, this is mine, I am responsible, I will not blame, I will not wait, I will not quit, the world bends to your determination. Challenges become opportunities. Obstacles become stepping stones. Fear becomes fuel. Every decision, every action, every sacrifice becomes a deliberate brick in the life you are constructing. Ownership is the power to remake yourself. Ownership is the power to rise. Ownership is the power to claim 2026 as yours, not in wish, not in hope, but in action, in discipline, and in relentless self-responsibility. Until you own it completely, nothing will change. But the moment you do, you become unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. Your life, your choices, your future, everything is in your hands. 2026 is yours, but only if you own it. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must understand this fundamental truth. The person you are today, the habits you cling to, the patterns you've allowed to run your life, the beliefs that have quietly controlled your decisions. Most of them are not serving you. They are not helping you grow. They are not preparing you for the life you say you want. And the brutal reality is, if you try to carry the old version of yourself into 2026, you will fail. You cannot step into a new year, a new life, a new opportunity while holding on to the chains of the old you. Transformation demands destruction. It demands courage to confront yourself, to look at your own weaknesses and failures and say, I am done letting this define me. Breaking the old you is not a one-time event. It is a relentless process, a daily battle against comfort, complacency, and the illusion that the way you've always lived is enough. The old you is built on fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of stepping into the unknown. And fear is subtle. It does not scream. It whispers. It whispers that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that someone else's opinion matters more than your own ambition. The old you settles for average because average is safe. It hides behind excuses, distractions, and justifications. It tells you that tomorrow is always a better day, that next week you will try harder, that one day you will finally commit, but tomorrow never comes, and one day is a lie. If you want to rebuild yourself, if you want 2026 to be your year, you must destroy the fear-driven, excuse-ridden version of yourself. You must tear down the comfort zones that have wrapped around you like chains and refuse to let you grow. Breaking the old you also means confronting habits that have kept you small. These are the habits that seem harmless, that feel familiar, but in reality, they are quietly sabotaging your potential. Staying up late scrolling your phone instead of investing in your craft. Talking negatively about yourself or others instead of building confidence and gratitude. Avoiding challenges instead of seeking them out. These habits have created a version of you that is reactive rather than proactive, passive rather than dominant, weak rather than powerful. And here's the truth. Habits do not change on their own. The old you will fight tooth and nail to stay alive because it is comfortable. It is familiar. Change is uncomfortable, and discomfort is exactly what will force you to grow. Breaking the old you means embracing that discomfort every single day, deliberately, consistently, without compromise. The old you is also tied to beliefs, and beliefs are the silent architects of your life. The beliefs you've held on to about your abilities, your worth, your future, they are the end. Visible barriers that have prevented you from stepping into your greatness. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I failed too many times before. Life is against me. These are lies you've allowed yourself to believe. The first step in breaking the old you is to expose these lies for what they are. Beliefs shape behavior. Beliefs determine the choices you make. Beliefs determine whether you will fight or flee, whether you will rise or remain stuck. If you want a different 2026, you must challenge every belief that has ever held you back. And you must replace it with the truth that you are capable, that you are strong, that you have everything it takes to rebuild yourself from the ground up. Breaking the old you is not painless. It requires sacrifice. It requires letting go of people, places, and things that no longer serve your growth. Toxic relationships that drain your energy, environments that stifle your ambition, entertainment that numbs your mind. These are the comfort zones of the old you, and they must be removed. You cannot carry the same associations into a new version of yourself and expect different results. You must surround yourself with accountability, with influence that elevates, with challenges that push you past limits you never thought you could surpass. Every time you cling to the old, every time you hesitate to cut ties with what holds you back, you delay the version of yourself that is ready to dominate. Breaking the old you requires courage, and courage is forged in the fire of decisive action. It also demands that you face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, the anger, the regret, the laziness, the envy, the self-doubt. They all live within you, and they all must be confronted. You cannot rebuild without self-awareness. You cannot grow without accountability. The old you wants to hide, wants to numb, wants to blame, but the new, you will stare directly at your flaws, embrace them as opportunities to improve, and convert weakness into strength. Every flaw you conquer, every limitation you overcome, every fear you face becomes a brick in the foundation of the new you. This is the essence of rebuilding. You destroy the old not to punish yourself, but to make space for the greatness that has been waiting for you all along. Breaking the old you is also about mindset. It is about rejecting mediocrity in every form. The old you tolerates excuses, laziness, and procrastination because it is comfortable. The new you understands that comfort is a trap. You must embrace the grind, embrace the pain, embrace the discomfort of building discipline and character. You must become obsessed with the process because the results will follow. The old you is reactive. The new you is proactive, deliberate, and relentless. Breaking the old you means training your mind to fight against resistance every single day until resilience, focus, and determination are no longer choices. They are your default state. Finally, breaking the old you is the ultimate act of self-love and self-respect. It is saying, I refuse to settle. I refuse to allow my past to dictate my future. I refuse to live small when I am capable of so much more. Rebuilding yourself for 2026 is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. It is about ripping away everything that has kept you weak, distracted, or complacent, and stepping into a version of you that is disciplined, hungry, unstoppable, and ready to dominate every opportunity that comes your way. You must be ruthless with the old you, relentless with your action, and unyielding in your commitment. There is no other way. If you want 2026 to be your year, then this is where it starts. Break the old you, destroy the habits, beliefs, and fears that have held you back. Confront every weakness and convert it into power. Cut out what no longer serves your growth. Push past discomfort and mediocrity. Build a mindset that refuses to settle. And every single day, take deliberate action to create a version of yourself that is so powerful, so disciplined, so unstoppable that there is no way the old you could ever recognize it. This is how you rebuild. This is how you dominate. This is how you claim 2026 as yours. Not by wishing, not by hoping, not by dreaming, but by breaking the old you and building the new you, brick by brick, day by day, with unrelenting intensity and focus. Rebuilding yourself is not a magic switch you can flip overnight. It is not a motivational quote, a fleeting surge of inspiration, or a resolution that fades after a week. Rebuilding is a process, a deliberate, calculated, and relentless journey that demands everything you have and more. If you want 2026 to be your year, you must embrace the reality that the person you were yesterday cannot simply be polished or slightly adjusted to meet the demands of the life you desire. No, the old foundation is cracked. The old habits are weak. The old mindset is inadequate. Rebuilding yourself means tearing down what no longer works and constructing a new, stronger, more resilient version of you from the ground up. And this process is neither comfortable nor simple. It is intentionally hard because growth, true growth, is forged in discomfort, pressure, and consistency. The first step in the rebuilding process is vision. You cannot rebuild without knowing what you are building toward. This is not a vague wish. It is a clear, vivid, undeniable picture of the life you want to create. You must define it in detail. Your health, your finances, your relationships, your career, your mindset. You must see yourself at the finish line before you begin to climb. Without visio, you are wandering, rebuilding without purpose, constructing a life that may never align with your potential. The vision is the blueprint. It guides every decision, every action, every sacrifice. Rebuilding without a blueprint is like trying to construct a skyscraper without an architect. You will collapse under the weight of uncertainty, indecision, and scattered energy. Once the vision is clear, the next step is discipline. Discipline is the backbone of the rebuilding process. Motivation will fail, inspiration will fade, energy will fluctuate, but discipline is consistent. Discipline shows up every day. Even when you feel tired, even when you want to quit, even when the world seems to conspire against you. Rebuilding yourself is a war, and discipline is your weapon. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Every habit you adopt, every action you take, every hour you invest in your growth compounds over time. The person who rebuilds is the person who refuses to negotiate with laziness, who refuses to make excuses, who refuses to wait for the perfect moment. Discipline is the commitment to the process, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, no matter how slow the progress appears, no matter how many times you fall. The rebuilding process also requires ruthless honesty. You must examine every part of yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and ask yourself, what is working and what is holding me back? What beliefs, habits, or patterns have kept me small? What relationships, environments, or distractions are preventing me from stepping into my full potential? This self-examination is not easy. It is uncomfortable. It will sting. It may even hurt to admit how much time you've wasted, how many opportunities you've let slip through your fingers, how many moments you've compromised your future for temporary comfort. But honesty is the only tool that allows you to rebuild on a foundation that is real, strong, and capable of supporting the life you want. If you refuse to confront the truth, you will only rebuild on sand. And when challenges come, as they inevitably will, you will crumble. Rebuilding yourself also demands strategic action. It is not enough to want change. You must plan and execute with precision. Break your vision into small, measurable, and consistent steps. Focus on the fundamentals that produce results. This is where many people fail. They want transformation, but chase shortcuts, hype, or external validation instead of doing the hard, necessary work. Rebuilding is repetitive, often monotonous, but it is deliberate. It is intentional. Every choice you make, every action you take must serve your ultimate goal. Rebuilding is not random. It is tactical. It requires patience, persistence, and the understanding that each small action, each tiny improvement compounds into monumental results over time. Another critical aspect of the rebuilding process is resilience. The journey will be difficult. You will face setbacks, failures, and resistance, not just from the world, but from within yourself. The old habits, the old fears, the old mindset, they will resist change because they are comfortable. The rebuilding process is a constant struggle between who you were and who you are becoming. And you must choose daily to push through, to stay committed, to rise above. Adversity is not an obstacle. It is a test. It is the refining fire that shapes you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable individual. Every setback is an opportunity to prove to yourself that your new self is more resilient, more disciplined, and more determined than the old version could ever be. Equally important in the rebuilding process is the environment you cultivate. You cannot rebuild in chaos, in distraction, or in negativity. You must create surroundings that reinforce the new habits, mindset, and identity you are constructing. This includes the people you spend time with, the media you consume, the spaces you inhabit, and even the conversations you allow into your mind. A supportive, challenging, and growth-oriented environment amplifies your efforts, while a toxic, stagnant, or negative environment will sabotage everything you are trying to build. Be intentional about what you allow into your world because it directly affects the speed, efficiency, and sustainability of your rebuilding process. Finally, the rebuilding process is about identity. It is not just about doing new things. It is about becoming a new person. Every habit, every thought, every action must align with the identity you want to create. The rebuilt you is a reflection of the vision you hold, the discipline you commit to, the honesty you embrace, and the resilience you cultivate. It is a version of yourself that refuses to settle, that refuses to accept mediocrity, that refuses to be limited by fear or past mistakes. Rebuilding is the act of deliberately sculpting your character, your mindset, your capabilities, and your destiny. It is not easy, it is not fast, and it is not for those unwilling to do the work. But it is the only way to claim 2026 as your year. If you want to rebuild, you must understand that the process never ends. It is ongoing, evolving, and demanding. You will never reach a point where you are done. There is always a higher level, a stronger version, a more disciplined version, a sharper mindset to achieve. This understanding should excite you, not discourage you. It means that every day is an opportunity to improve, to strengthen, to grow, and to bring the person you see in your vision closer to reality. Rebuilding is not a destination. It is a lifestyle. It is the relentless pursuit of the best version and of yourself. Day in and day out, without compromise, without excuses, without hesitation. To rebuild yourself is to declare war on stagnation, fear, and mediocrity. It is to say, I will not accept who I was yesterday. I will not be held back by the life I have lived. I will rise, I will fight, I will create, and I will become the person I am meant to be. This is not about luck, timing, or external validation. It is about ownership, discipline, resilience, and unwavering commitment to the process. Every brick, every choice, every effort you put into rebuilding yourself brings you closer to a 2026 that is undeniably yours. Rebuilding is hard, yes, but nothing worth having is easy. The process is the path, and the path is where true power is forged. Step into it with courage, consistency, and commitment, and there will be no stopping the version of yourself you are becoming. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must understand that nothing happens without action. Dreams, visions, plans, they are meaningless without the consistent, relentless effort required to bring them to life. Too many people spend their days hoping, wishing, and talking about the life they want while doing almost nothing to make it real. They wait for motivation to strike, for the perfect circumstances, for the perfect moment, and they let days, weeks, months, and years pass in inactivity. The truth is, nothing outside of you will make your dreams real. The only way to transform vision into reality is through daily action. Every single day matters. Every decision, every task, every effort is a vote for the person you are becoming. If you neglect your daily action, you neglect your future, and your vision for 2026 will remain a fantasy. Daily action is not about occasional effort or bursts of inspiration. It is about discipline, consistency, and commitment to the process. Even when you don't feel like motivation is fleeting, it comes and goes like a storm. Some days you will wake up energized, ready to conquer the world, and other days you will feel exhausted, distracted, or defeated. The difference between those who achieve and those who merely dream is that the achievers do not rely on motivation. They rely on action. They show up every single day, regardless of mood, circumstances, or excuses. Daily action is non-negotiable because it is the engine that powers transformation. Without it, vision remains vision, and ambition remains nothing more than words. Every small action matters. Every choice you make compounds over time, building or destroying the life you desire, sending one email, making one call, writing one page, training for 10 extra minutes, saying no to distractions, saying yes to growth. These small actions accumulate into momentum. The rebuilt version of yourself is not formed overnight. It is constructed brick by brick through consistent effort. One day, 1 hour, One task may seem insignificant, but repeated consistently, it becomes unstoppable force. Daily action is the quiet, invisible work that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. It is the foundation upon which all success is built, and yet it is the element most ignored by those who complain about life but refuse to work for change. Daily action also requires accountability. You must hold yourself responsible for what you do and what you fail to do. There is no one coming to push you, to cheer for you, or to force you to take steps toward your goals. The responsibility is entirely yours. Every time you skip a step, procrastinate, or make excuses, you are delaying your own progress. Every time you choose to act, no matter how small, you are reinforcing the identity of a person who takes control of their life. Daily action transforms intentions into reality because it creates evidence. It is proof that you are committed, proof that you are serious, proof that your words are not empty. Your actions define you more than your thoughts, your dreams, or your promises. Another critical aspect of daily action is resilience in the face of obstacles. Life will throw challenges, setbacks, and distractions in your path, sometimes more than you feel capable of handling. Daily action demands that you push through anyway. It is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It is about learning to move forward in spite of it. The rebuilt version of yourself will not be built in perfect conditions. It will be built in the struggle, in the chaos, in the moments when every part of you wants to quit. Consistent action in the face of adversity is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. It is in showing up every day, even when tired, discouraged, or doubting, that you create unstoppable momentum. Daily action is also about prioritization. You cannot do everything and you cannot be everywhere, but you can do what matters most every single day. Identify the tasks, habits, and disciplines that will move you closer to your vision for 2026 and attack them with intensity. Eliminate distractions, cut out what drains your energy, and focus relentlessly on what produces results. This is where discipline meets action. It is not enough to be busy, you must be productive. You must direct your energy toward meaningful progress, and you must do it daily, consistently, without compromise. The old you would have settled for distraction, excuses, or temporary pleasure. The rebuilt you chooses the path of relentless progress, no matter how uncomfortable or inconvenient it feels. Action is also cumulative. It compounds over time, often invisibly, until one day you look up and realize you are no longer where you were. The phone calls you made, the extra hours you work, the consistent training, the mental effort, the sacrifices you made, suddenly they become the momentum that propels you forward. Those who fail often misunderstand this. They expect instant results, quick wins, and overnight transformation. Rebuilding yourself for 2026 is not instant. It is gradual, cumulative, and unstoppable if you remain committed to daily action. Every day counts, every moment counts, every decision counts. One day missed is lost, but one day used with focus brings you closer to the life you have been waiting for. Daily action also teaches patience and endurance. Transformation does not happen in a week, a month, or even a year without consistent effort. It is built through small steps, repeated relentlessly until habits solidify, results manifest, and identity shifts. The person you will become in 2026 is a direct reflection of the actions you take every day leading up to it. You cannot rush the process, you cannot skip the work, and you cannot expect shortcuts. Endurance, persistence, and daily action are the secret forces behind every extraordinary transformation. They are what separate those who talk about their goals from those who live them. Finally, daily action is a statement of ownership, courage, and commitment. It says to the world and to yourself, I am not waiting. I am not hoping. I am building. I am relentless. I am in control of my life, and I will not allow another day to pass without moving closer to my vision. Daily action is the proof of intention, the measure of commitment, and the engine of transformation. Without it, vision is wasted energy. Without it, talent is meaningless. Without it, dreams remain dreams. But with it, even the impossible becomes achievable. Even the overwhelming becomes manageable. And even the broken can be rebuilt into something powerful, disciplined, and unstoppable. If you want 2026 to be yours, there is no alternative, no exception, no excuse. Daily action is non-negotiable. Show up every day, take the steps that matter. Persist through adversity. Prioritize relentlessly. Embrace discomfort and compound your efforts over time. Do this consistently, and the person you are building, the life you are creating, and the results you are achieving will be undeniable. Daily action transforms potential into reality, desire into accomplishment, and dreams into life. The rebuilt version of yourself will not be a result of luck, timing, or hope. It will be the product of relentless, unyielding daily action. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must understand that the battlefield is first in your mind. Before you can take control of your circumstances, before you can rebuild your habits, before you can achieve the vision you have for yourself, you must transform your mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, the filter through which you interpret every challenge, every opportunity, every failure, and every victory. If your mind is conditioned to believe in limitations, fear, doubt, or mediocrity, then no amount of effort, strategy, or planning will ever bring you the life you desire. The rebuilt version of yourself starts with a radical, unapologetic, and relentless shift in the way you think. You must move from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith, from limitation to possibility. Without this shift, 2026 will not be yours. Because the old beliefs, doubts, and fears will sabotage everything before it even begins. The mindset shift begins with awareness. You must examine the stories you tell yourself, the narratives that have quietly shaped your behavior for years, perhaps decades. I'm not good enough. I've failed too many times. I can't compete with others. Life is unfair. These thoughts are not truths. They are programming that has been accepted without challenge. Awareness is the first step because you cannot change what you do not see. You must confront every limiting belief and recognize it for the lie it is. The truth is, your mind can be your greatest asset or your most dangerous enemy. Those who succeed understand this and take control of their mental programming with the same intensity they take control of their actions. Once you become aware, you must deliberately replace old disempowering thoughts with new empowering ones. This is not positive thinking in a fluffy sense. It is deliberate mental engineering. It is the decision to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to see lessons where others see failure, to see potential where others see limitation. The mindset shift is about turning your internal dialogue from a voice of doubt into a voice of command. Instead of saying, I can't, you say, I will find a way. Instead of saying, I'm not ready, you say, I will become ready. Instead of saying, life is against me, you say, I will shape life to serve my purpose. Every thought you cultivate shapes the actions you take, the energy you bring, and the results you produce. Change your mind, and you change everything. The mindset shift also requires embracing ownership of your thoughts. You cannot let external circumstances, other people's opinions, or past failures dictate the way you see yourself or your potential. Your mind must become a fortress, resistant to negativity, distraction, and doubt. Every time a fear or limiting belief arises, you must confront it with action, evidence, and conviction. If you think, I can't do this, you must prove yourself wrong by doing it anyway. The mind responds to experience, to proof, to action. It is not enough to think differently. You must act differently until the new mindset becomes ingrained. The rebuilt version of yourself will not happen in a vacuum. It requires conscious, intentional, and repetitive practice of thinking and acting in alignment with the person you are becoming. Another aspect of the mindset shift is learning to see challenges as opportunities. The old mindset runs from struggle, avoids discomfort, and sees setbacks as failure. The new mindset understands that struggle is the testing ground for growth, that discomfort is a signal of progress, and that setbacks are simply feedback, not the end of the journey. Every challenge you face is a chance to prove to yourself that you are stronger, smarter, and more capable than you believed. You must train your mind to embrace adversity as fuel, not fear. You must see difficulty not as punishment, but as preparation. The mindset shift is about developing this perspective until it becomes automatic, until your default response is to attack challenges with focus, determination, and confidence. Your environment also plays a critical role in this shift. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the habits you maintain all influence your thinking. To shift your mindset, you must eliminate inputs that reinforce fear, doubt, or negativity. You must engage with ideas, mentors, and communities that expand your possibilities, challenge your assumptions, and push you toward growth. The mind is plastic. It adapts to the signals it receives. Feed it wisely. The rebuilt version of yourself is created not just by what you think, but by what you expose your mind to every day. Surround yourself with influence that amplifies courage, ambition, and resilience, and the mindset shift becomes inevitable. Discipline is an inseparable partner to the mindset shift. You cannot think your way to 2026. You must act in alignment with your new thoughts. The new mindset demands daily practice, mental repetition, visualization, journaling, affirmations, deliberate reflection, and most importantly, decisive action. Every time you act in accordance with your new mindset, you reinforce it. Every time you choose courage over fear, persistence over giving up, commitment over distraction, you solidify the foundation of the rebuilt you. The shift is internal, but the proof is external. It manifests in every decision, every habit, every action, and every result you produce. Fear and doubt will continue to arise, but the mindset shift teaches you to respond differently. You do not suppress fear. You acknowledge it and move through it. You do not deny doubt. You confront it with evidence, preparation, and action. The rebuilt version of yourself understands that mental obstacles are temporary, that they are challenges to overcome, and that your identity is not dictated by fleeting emotions or limiting beliefs. You must become relentless in retraining your mind until confidence, clarity, and courage become your default state. Ultimately, the mindset shift is about claiming ownership of your potential. It is about refusing to let past failures, external circumstances, or internal doubts limit what you can achieve. It is about seeing yourself as the person you are capable of becoming and refusing to settle for anything less. It is about aligning every thought, every belief, and every perspective with the life you want to create in 2026. Once your mind is aligned, everything else becomes possible. The habits, the actions, the resilience, the discipline, they all follow naturally from the way you see yourself and the world. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must commit to the mindset shift with the same intensity you commit to action, discipline, and rebuilding. Change your mind and you change your life. Train your thoughts. Condition your beliefs, embrace challenges, and act in alignment with the person you are becoming. The rebuilt version of yourself begins in your mind. Master your mind, and the rest will follow. This is the battlefield where victory is won. And it is the first step in claiming your year, your life, and your destiny with unstoppable force. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must understand that life will test you. There will be moments when everything seems to be working against you, when the weight of responsibility, disappointment, and failure feels unbearable. Resilience through adversity is not optional. It is essential. It is the difference between those who rise and those who remain trapped in the shadows of their own potential. Adversity does not discriminate. It hits everyone. The difference is not whether it comes, it is how you respond when it does. Will you let it break you, define you, and diminish you? Or will you use it as fuel to propel yourself forward, stronger, sharper, and more determined than ever before? The rebuilt version of yourself is forged in these moments, in the pressure, in the struggle, in the fight. Adversity is a mirror. It exposes weakness, reveals character, and challenges your determination. When life pushes you to the edge, you see what you are made of. The resilient person does not fear adversity. They recognize it as an essential ingredient of growth. Every setback, every failure, every rejection is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to rise. Resilience is built by refusing to succumb to pain, by refusing to accept defeat as permanent, and by turning every obstacle into a stepping stone toward your vision. Those who succeed do not avoid adversity. They embrace it. They run toward the pressure, not away from it, because they know that nothing worth having comes without a fight. Resilience begins with mindset. The resilient individual does not see adversity as a punishment or a signal to give up. They see it as feedback, a test of their commitment, a chance to strengthen their resolve. When challenges arise, they ask themselves, what can I learn? How can I grow? How will this make me stronger? Instead of complaining, rationalizing, or blaming, they focus on solutions, on action, and on the relentless pursuit of improvement. The rebuilt version of yourself will not be broken by difficulty. It will be strengthened by it. Every problem faced, every trial endured, every failure survived compounds into unshakable confidence and unwavering determination. Adversity also tests your habits. When the storm hits, when circumstances are unfavorable, when everything is going wrong, what do? Do you give in to despair, distraction, or inaction, or do you double down on the routines that elevate you? Resilience is shown in consistency, in refusing to let external conditions dictate your behavior. Daily habits, discipline, and structure become anchors during turbulent times. The rebuilt you continues to act, continues to push, and continues to build, even when it would be easier to quit. Adversity is temporary, but the strength and momentum built through persistent action lasts forever. Another essential aspect of resilience is emotional control. Life will not go according to plan, and people will not always support you. Circumstances will challenge your patience, and failures will test your confidence. Resilience is the ability to manage your emotions, to stay calm, focused, and disciplined in the face of pressure. The rebuilt version of yourself will not be ruled by fear, anger, or frustration. You will acknowledge the emotions, but you will refuse to be controlled by them. You will act with clarity, purpose, and determination, even when the world seems to be conspiring against you. Emotional control is the bridge between adversity and growth. It allows you to navigate challenges with strategy, intelligence, and unwavering focus. Resilience is also about perspective. Those who crumble under adversity see their obstacles as permanent, insurmountable, and unfair. Resilient see adversity as temporary, manageable, and full of lessons. Every problem carries with it an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. Every setback is a signal that something needs to change, that you need to adjust, that you need to grow. By changing your perspective, you turn resistance into fuel. You stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing life as a series of challenges that you are capable of overcoming. Perspective transforms adversity from an enemy into an ally, from a barrier into a bridge. Support and environment also play a role in resilience, but the ultimate responsibility lies within you. No one can endure your battles for you. No one can lift the weight of your challenges. While mentors, friends, and allies can provide guidance and encouragement, the rebuilt version of yourself must cultivate an internal reservoir of strength. You must train yourself to rely on your discipline, your mindset, and your vision when adversity strikes. This is what separates those who are resilient from those who are fragile. The pressure will come. The question is whether you will bend or break, fight or falter, retreat or rise. Resilience is not just about enduring. It is about thriving under pressure. The strongest individuals are not those who avoid challenges. They are those who use every challenge as a stepping stone. Every failure teaches, every rejection refines, every obstacle sharpens. You must learn to reframe adversity as a tool, a teacher, and a catalyst. The rebuilt version of yourself does not just survive the storm, it grows stronger because of it. Pain becomes power, struggle becomes strength, and setbacks become setups for greater success. Finally, resilience is built through action. Talking about overcoming adversity is useless without execution. You must face the challenge, step into discomfort, and refuse to retreat. You must act with courage, discipline, and relentless determination, even when the path is unclear, even when the odds are stacked against you, even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Resilience is the marriage of mindset and action, the ability to think strategically, stay disciplined, and push forward relentlessly no matter the circumstances. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must cultivate resilience through adversity with every fiber of your being. You must train your mind to see challenges as fuel, your habits to persist regardless of circumstances, your emotions to stay disciplined, and your perspective to reframe every obstacle as an opportunity. You must act relentlessly, consistently, and courageously. The rebuilt version of yourself is not one who avoids difficulty. It is one who confronts it head on, adapts, grows, and rises above it, stronger than ever before. Adversity is inevitable, but your response is everything. Build resilience, embrace struggle, and make 2026 a year that reflects the unstoppable, unbreakable, and relentless version of yourself. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must understand that nothing you do will matter unless it is guided by a clear vision and complete alignment. Vision is the blueprint of your life, the image of who you want to become, the destination that directs every decision, every habit, every action. Without vision, you wander aimlessly through life, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. Alignment is the bridge that connects vision to action. It is the act of ensuring that your daily choices, your behaviors, your mindset, and your energy all point toward the future you want to create. Without alignment, even the most disciplined effort can be wasted because actions that are inconsistent or contradictory to your vision will scatter your energy and dilute your impact. To claim 2026 as you must have both an unshakable vision and unwavering alignment. Vision is not a vague hope or a wish. It is a precise, detailed picture of the life you intend to live. You must see it clearly in your mind, feel it in your emotions, and internalize it as if it is already happening. What does your life look like in 2026? What are you doing? Who are you with? How do you feel? What does your morning routine look like? What do your finances, your health, and your relationships reflect? The more vivid your vision, the stronger its pull on your life. A weak, fuzzy vision produces weak effort, inconsistent results, and a sense of frustration. A clear, compelling vision generates relentless focus, unwavering discipline, and unstoppable momentum. Vision is the engine that drives action, the magnet that pulls you toward your destiny, and the foundation upon which the rebuilt version of yourself is constructed. Alignment is the execution of vision in real time. It is the intentional act of ensuring that every thought, habit, action, and decision serves your ultimate goal. Alignment eliminates contradiction in your life. If you claim you want success but waste hours on distractions, if you claim you want health but neglect your body, if you claim you want wealth but refuse to invest in growth, you are misaligned. Alignment requires brutal honesty with yourself. It demands that you ask difficult questions and make uncomfortable adjustments. Are your actions reflecting your vision? Are your habits producing the results you desire? Are the people you spend time with supporting your growth or pulling you backward? Every misalignment is a leak of energy, a delay in progress, a weakening of your future. To rebuild yourself, you must ruthlessly align your life so that everything works in harmony to create the version of yourself you see in your vision. The process of alignment also requires prioritization. You cannot do everything and you cannot be everywhere. You must identify what matters most to your vision and focus your energy exclusively on those elements. This means saying no to distractions, to unproductive commitments, and to habits that do not serve your ultimate goal. Every hour, every decision, and every action must be a deliberate vote for the life you want to create. The rebuilt version of yourself is not scattered. It is precise, focused, and relentless in pursuit of alignment between vision and action. Vision and alignment also demand consistency. You cannot simply dream or plan. You must act every day with purpose, ensuring that each step brings you closer to your destination. This is where the disciplines you have built, the resilience you have cultivated, and the mindset you have shifted all converge. Daily action without alignment is effort wasted. Alignment without vision is aimless. But when vision and alignment converge, they create unstoppable momentum. Every habit, every choice, every sacrifice compounds to bring the person you see in your mind into physical reality. Another critical element of vision and alignment is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, challenges arise, and obstacles appear when least expected. True alignment does not mean rigidity. It means having a clear destination while being willing to adjust your path strategically to overcome barriers. It is the balance between unwavering focus on your vision and intelligent flexibility in your methods. The rebuilt version of yourself adapts without compromising core principles or ultimate goals. You shift tactics, not purpose. You innovate, problem solve, and navigate challenges with creativity while remaining firmly anchored to your vision. Vision and alignment also require courage. It is easy to stay comfortable, to settle effort or mediocrity, to follow the path of least resistance. But the life you see in your vision, the life that 2026 can bring, is not achieved through comfort or complacency. It is earned through bold decisions, sacrifices, and relentless effort. Alignment demands that you face the uncomfortable truths about your current life and take decisive action to correct course. It requires confronting fears, overcoming limiting beliefs, and challenging the status quo of your habits and environment. Courage is the fuel that drives alignment, the energy that transforms vision from thought into action, and the power that pushes you past doubt, distraction, and delay. The clarity of vision and alignment also shapes your identity. Who you are in 2026 must be the person you begin to become today. Every aligned action reinforces your identity. Every consistent habit molds your character, and every decision you make affirms your commitment to the future you envision. You cannot step into 2026 as someone unprepared or misaligned. The rebuilt version of yourself is created now through the choices you make, the discipline you exercise, and the alignment you maintain between what you want and what you do. Vision gives you direction. Alignment gives you leverage, and identity gives you the consistency to see it through. Finally, vision and alignment generate unstoppable momentum. Once your life is structured around a clear purpose and your actions are aligned with that purpose, you become a force that cannot be derailed. Challenges, failures, and setbacks still come, but your vision and alignment give you clarity, focus, and resilience. Every step is intentional. Every effort compounds, and every decision reinforces your trajectory. Momentum grows exponentially because it is powered by clarity, consistency, and alignment with your ultimate goal. This is how the rebuilt version of yourself take shape, not in scattered effort, not in temporary bursts of motivation, but in a life that is strategically and deliberately designed to produce the results you desire. If you want 2026 to be yours, you must commit to vision and alignment with unwavering intensity. You must see the life you want clearly, internalize it deeply, and structure every part of your life to serve that vision. You must align your actions, habits, decisions, environment, and mindset so that nothing distracts, nothing delays, and nothing contradicts the future you are creating. You must act every day, adapt when necessary, and persist with courage, discipline, and relentless focus. Vision gives you the destination, alignment provides the path, and consistent action propels you forward. When these elements converge, you do not just hope for a better 2026. You create it. 2026 is not a year that will simply arrive and hand you success. It is a year that must be claimed, fought for, and built with your own hands. Everything you have learned, every step you take, every decision you make from this moment forward determines whether you will enter that year as the same person you are today or as someone stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. Rebuilding yourself is not an option. It is a necessity. The life you see in your mind, the version of yourself you dream of becoming, cannot be achieved by chance. It requires vision, discipline, daily action, resilience, and relentless alignment. It requires that you refuse to settle for mediocrity, that you refuse to be defined by past failures, that you refuse to allow fear, doubt, or distraction to dictate your future. You have to understand that the journey of rebuilding is not a comfortable one. It will demand discomfort. It will demand sacrifice, and it will demand that you confront parts of yourself you may have ignored for years. There will be days when giving up feels easier than pushing forward. There will be moments when you question your strength, your ability, your purpose, but these moments are not signs that you should quit. They are signals that growth is happening, that you are being stretched, that the person you are becoming is being forged in fire. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, every hour you invest in becoming better compounds into unstoppable momentum. This is how you transform your life. Not tomorrow, not next week, but starting right now. Remember, 2026 belongs to those who refuse to wait. It belongs to those who refuse to let excuses or comfort rule their decisions. It belongs to those who take ownership of their mind, their actions, and their results. The rebuilt version of yourself is not created in a day, but it is created every single day through deliberate, intentional effort. Show up for yourself. Push harder than you ever have before. Hold yourself accountable. Surround yourself with growth. Cut out what does not serve you and act relentlessly until the person you see in your vision becomes undeniable reality. Your habits, your mindset, your resilience, your alignment, they are the scaffolding on which your future will stand. There is no magic, no secret, no shortcut. The only thing that separates those who claim their destiny from those who dream about it is action, consistency, and unwavering commitment. Rebuild yourself in every area: mind, body, spirit, habits, and relationships. Choose courage over comfort, focus over distraction, and growth over stagnation. When you do this, you will not just survive 2026. You will dominate it. You will walk into that year as a person transformed, unstoppable, and fully prepared to claim the life you have always deserved. The question is simple. Will you settle for another year of excuses, or will you rise, rebuild, and take what is rightfully yours? The choice is yours. The time is now. 2026 is waiting, but it will only be yours if you decide right here, right now, that nothing will stand in your way, that every day will be a step toward your greatness, and that the rebuilt version of yourself will leave no doubt this is your year, and it will be undeniably yours.